I got a cup of coffee right here, baby. Is it possible I have something to say? You have to wonder. Let's dive into it right now. All right, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at Scale Cantina. So before we dive into this episode, I will tell you that the next live episode of the Market Value Chart Show will be this coming Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And is it possible that the Darth Jedi, Aries Tarrington, who'll be serving up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk, and in an Aries is live and raw episode, by the way, so it'll be all of you as the panel this coming Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. But is it possible that I will be giving away a $25 gift certificate to Sideshow Collectibles? And I say yes. You're going to need it anyway with all these NRDs that are, you need to put in for all these pre-orders, right? Well, we're going to get into that in just a little bit here. That's going to be the first segment of this Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show. I'm going to give you a slightly different perspective on that whole thing. However, all you got to do to enter for this $25 gift certificate in this video is just do as many of you already do. Just comment on the video. And that's it. And then I will go ahead and run the results live at the end of Aries Tarrington is live and raw this coming Sunday, baby, at 8 p.m. Eastern. At the end, I will run it. Now, you're only going to be eligible if you are a subscriber. So if you're not subscribed and you want to go ahead and enter this contest, subscribe to the channel. So go ahead and do that. Then once you're subscribed, you can go ahead and comment away. Now, it doesn't matter. You can comment 50 times. It's only going to count as one entry because the computer program I use is only going to take one of your comments. Now, if you want to comment multiple times, be my guest. Some of you do, but it's not going to count towards multiple entries, just so you know. And why? You have to wonder, why am I giving away a $25 gift certificate? Is it to help you with all these NRDs? And I say no, but it is to, because, thank you, because we're at 1,300 subscribers basically now. And I said before we hit 1,000 that, once we march on to 1,300, 1,500, 1,800, 2,000, I might be doing some giveaways. So as we've hit 1,300 to celebrate that, and we're marching towards 1,500 subs, $25 gift certificate seems apropos. So thank you all very, very much. Much appreciate. But again, just comment on the video. Make sure you subscribe. Now, I'll also be live this Friday on the Man of Hot Collectibles show. Remember, you can catch the six Scale Cantina and the Man of Hot Collectibles. You can catch Aries. You can catch Dante every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Last week it was my turn with the Market Value Chart Show. This week it's Dante's turn, the Man of Hot Collectibles. So make sure you book that on your calendars, 9 p.m. Eastern. In addition to my show on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So, okay, let's get into this podcast. And for the first segment of this show, what is this business of there's only pre-orders, there's no hot toy releases? So, I don't know much about really diving into what's going on with Marvel and DC and some of those other hot toys. I could tell you from my perspective as a Star Wars hot toys collector, I'm going to maybe share a different point of view It's not that the other side is, argument is not, our talking point is not valid. It is. But I'm going to share with you perhaps a different perspective. I'm going to play, let's say, devil's advocate, and maybe point out some things to you that you may or may not have considered. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and point some figures out to you. Now, the figures I'm going to show to you were all released in under a year. Really since August of last year. So about 10 months. Maybe the first one I was going to show you was sometime at the end of July, but really, and I'm talking about figures not when they were the first day released in Hong Kong, but when Sideshow started to ship them out. Started shipping them out. Some of them would still say pre-orders on them. Some of them would say in stock, but I'm going to show you figures for Star Wars that have, in about 10, 11 month span, in under a year. So let's go to the first one. Yoda, this reissue. Attack of the Clones. That's number one. Let's go ahead and go to another one. Vintage color Boba Fett. That's two. Let's go to another one. The OG Mandalorian. Sold out. Let's go to another one. That's number three. The 40th anniversary Darth Vader, The Empire Strikes Back reissue. That one's worth a sip of coffee, baby. It's a good figure. It's a good figure. That's four. Let's go to a fifth one. Fett. Deluxe. ESB reissue. It's in stock right now. Okay? We're up to five, by the way. Let's go to another one. Beskar Mandalorian Deluxe. And also the non-deluxe. So, there you go. There's six. Let's go to another one. Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon Jinn. That's eight. Isn't that eight? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's seven. Let's go to eight right now. Solo Maul. Remember this one? Remember, the narrative here is we're not getting any figures. Okay? And remember these, you could go ahead with shipping and taxes. You could kind of average, $275 or even $300 average all in for each one of these. There's eight. Let's go to nine. Okay, well, not a 6-scale figure, but a hot toy. Remember everything about this with the mouth, the jaw, all that problem? Yeah, okay. Again, remember, they're not releasing Star Wars figures. Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. There's 10. Let's go to 11. Cody. Wow. This is all in under a year. Death Trooper. Mandalorian. Wow. What are we up to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was 12. Let's go to 13. Remnant Trooper. Wow. Let's go to another one. Incinerator Trooper. Wow. Let's count them all over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14. That's 14 hot toys in under a year. Now, I know a vast majority of them, a good amount came out before the holiday, before January. But still, it's under a year. It's a lot of figures. And when you go ahead and multiply it, let's go ahead and multiply it with an average of 275 shipping and taxes, just for kicks and giggles. Times 275. 14. Wow. That's $3,850. That's $4,000 basically worth of Hot Toys figures in under a year. Let's go back. I'm really going to blow your mind with this. This is 15. This is already starting to ship. People are getting their notifications. Same with this. This is 16. You want to count the Scout Trooper by himself? That's 17. Let's go to this. This is 18. IG-11. Just got my notification. Actually charged my card. Let's go to this one. If I can pull it up. Kylo Ren. That's 19. People are starting to get their notifications too. 19 figures. Wow. You had 14 counted before. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 Star Wars Hot Toys figures in under a year. Deserves some coffee. That's it's a lot of money. And many of those figures, the Dark Jedi, Aries Charrington, doesn't have. And I can't afford all of those figures. And if we wanted them to come out with more figures over the last few months, let's say that they came out with another 6 figures over the last 3, 4, 5 months. That would be 25 action figures. Okay, 19 plus 6, 25. Let's do 25, multiply it by 275, $6,875, $7,000 worth of Star Wars Hot Toys figures in under a year. And is it possible that Hot Toys isn't coming out with and releasing any Star Wars Hot Toys figures? And I say no. They absolutely are. And when you're talking about that amount in the middle of COVID-19, even when you have some gaps in between, which there obviously is, I think that that's an amazing feat. And secondly, more than enough. And when you look at it from that perspective, where, oh my goodness, we've got, 40 pre-orders or, 50 pre-orders or whatever it is, and can we please get a Hot Toys release? Can we please not get a Hot Toys release? Because there are too many as it was. There was 19. And you have to wonder, with 19 figures released for Star Wars Hot Toys in under a year, is it possible that that's more than what the average collector can maybe afford? And I think that that's something that we need to consider when we're really trying to look at pre-orders versus releases. Now, I understand the narrative too, that there's too many pre-orders and how we're going to get all these. Well, it doesn't matter if there's 40 pre-orders or 140 pre-orders. I'm still going to not be able to get what I can't get. They came out with 19 figures in under a year. And if they came out with 29 figures in under a year, I would still get the same amount. They may be different. I might like something else more than something else that I picked up. I might swap some things out. But versus 19, 29, 30, and they come out with 49 figures. It's not going to change anything for me. And quite frankly, It's a lot of figures that I think that they're coming out with. And in the middle of a pandemic, it was like, whoa, there was a 2-month span or a 3-month span, or you had all this and that. That's sometimes going to happen. And that's the nature of this game sometimes. And especially when you're dealing with a company, and historically, you're waiting a year. You're waiting a year and a half. You're waiting 2 years sometimes a little longer for Star Wars Hot Toys. So when they come out with these pre-orders, they space them out. And in some cases, you get really bombarded with them. We're going to get bombarded with a lot of releases, just like we are right now, in the third and fourth quarter of this year. And the reason why that is, just like right now we're getting the Scout Trooper with the bike or by itself, and you're getting Rey, and you're getting Kylo, and you're getting IG-11. And, you know, that's a lot of figures. You know, that's a ton of figures all at once. And for me, that Rex was actually delayed because, and it was delayed because it was a quality assurance issue. It was a QA issue where they had to go ahead and, fix that head sculpt or whatever it is that they're doing there. I was actually personally a little bit like, oh, okay, that's good because I get to save a little bit more. And they're coming out with Clone Wars Ahsoka at the end of the year. The second half of this year, and the Clone Wars Darth Maul, and the 501st, and the Death Watch Mandalorian, and the Coruscant Guard, and I think that Stormtrooper Commander is coming out, and there's a couple of figures that are scheduled for the first quarter of next year, like that Yogu, Yogu, Yogu. That maybe that'll be Grogu's brother or sister. Who knows? I'll have to check with the Hot Toys wizard, who may have that information. Stay tuned for the Hot Toys wizard. It's coming, baby. It's coming. Anyway, that Grogu, that Baby Yoda accessory set with the frog and all that is probably going to. I would think there's a potential for that to get released in the fourth quarter of this year, along with potentially a couple of other figures, even that Lando, that they will try and put in for to get for some fathers and stuff like that for the holiday season, for Christmas, holiday season. I could see that. So I think there's going to be quite a lot, just like there's quite a lot bombarded with us now, and they're going to really bombard us with a lot of other figures. If they were coming out with, and I appreciate, like I said before, the spacing to wait for Rex. It's not that I don't want it this second, but there's only so much money. And that kind of saved me with IG-11, to be quite honest with you. Because when I went ahead and got the Grievous, something was going to have to go. And the fact that Rex got delayed really saved me. But like, okay, I could save up a little bit more for that. Now, I'm not going to be able to get, for instance, like the Coruscant Guard, which I really wanted, but I'm going to have to pass on that. And I'm passing on the Death Watch Mandalorian. Like all the Mandalorians, it's just it's too many figures. Now, it's not that I'm upset about that. I actually want to have that selection. I'm excited for those figures and for the community on those figures. But when I came into Hot Toys, I didn't suspect at all that I would be able to get every figure. And certainly, for me, I'm not sour at all that there's figures that I can't get. Like I said, over the past, in under a year, with those 19 releases, I couldn't get all of them either. It's just how it is. So remember, approach perhaps NRDs, non-refundable deposits, like you're going to approach the way you collect. As you list out and budget everything you have, a suggestion would be, don't worry about your characters first. Budget how many figures you can buy within a year. Just like I pointed out that there was 19 Star Wars Hot Toys figures in under a year. So far, in under a year. Find out what your budget is for a year. Is it 19? Is it 29? Is it 9? Is it 2? Is it 5? And then once you build that out, that you know how many you can afford, then list out all the characters that are available on pre-order. And then pre-order the ones that you know you're absolutely going to get, even if they do come out with Bespin Han. Even if they do come out with a Bespin Luke. Or if they do come out with a Cobb Vanth. Then you're able to, when those figures come out, it's not like, oh, okay, I've got an NRD on every single figure. All 28 of these figures, I've got an NRD on. Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. If you can afford that, that's good. And if you could afford that, then when they start filling up the third, more of the third quarter for next year and the fourth quarter and then the first half of 2023, you should be fine. If you're not fine, you've got to go ahead and plan out your NRDs. Have patience. Well, Aries, what if they don't come out with the Bespin Han or Cobb Vanth or General Veers or Lobot or something that I really want? Okay, well, then go ahead and put your NRD down. And nothing's going to happen to the NRD. Well, I might get it 2 months later. Have patience. 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 Just like in the secondary market. Patience. Be gung-ho about hot toys. Spill your coffee. Spill your coffee with these hot toys, baby. Oh, yeah. But you don't have to unless you want to. Put an NRD on every figure. You can kind of save some aside to see what comes out. Now, that means that you're not going to have the first batches and all that. But again, and this will help you too, because how many people cancel their non-refundable deposits because you put NRDs down for what was this, a month ago, whatever the number was, 40 figures. Okay, well, the 28 figures here, that's kind of, if you really can't afford it, and you see when it's coming out, I'm just saying, food for thought. Budget accordingly. Find out how many you're going to buy within a year. And also, while you're doing that, if you're going to buy in the secondary market, have a separate column of what you're going to buy in the secondary market. Because if you only got so much money, then you're not going to get the figure that's at retail, or it's going to come out in retail if you're buying in the secondary market. So make sure that you have this all worked out, and use patience, and give yourself room to put NRDs, if that's how you do things, on what you're going to get. And for me, you already know my story. I don't do NRDs unless I think that it's something that has the potential of not getting in stock, if it has that weird vibe about it. Because I don't mind waiting. But I know a lot of people don't do it like me because they use it as a mechanism to budget. You're doing that monthly payment installment. I think that's fantastic. But again, if you really don't want every figure and you don't know you're not going to get any figure, or you want some rooms to get some new figures they're going to come out with, you maybe think about the ones you really, really want and save some so you can put NRDs down on the other ones that are going to be upcoming. Anyway, let's go to the second segment of the program and head to scalecantina.com and see what's going on in the biggest mover section. Now, before we go to the biggest mover section, I do have some insider information on General Kenobi. My insider source is telling me that this General Kenobi has been held up because of the head sculpt and is going to be forthcoming as a con or event exclusive later this year or very early next year, perhaps even a Toy Fair exclusive. But this figure is absolutely imminent. And not only is that confirmed by my insider, but that has also been confirmed by none other than the Hot Toys Wizard. The Hot Toys Wizard has proclaimed that this figure is indeed forthcoming and has concluded that my insider information from Hong Kong is 100% accurate. So, take that with a grain of salt. But the Hot Toys Wizard has not been wrong yet. So, something to keep in mind. The other thing is, I also have insider information that all of Clone Force 99 will be released. So the question of will they release more Bad Batch figures besides Hunter and Echo? My inside source is telling me that those other clone troopers are coming. And really that's not a surprise to me because to me it's not really so much about the Bad Batch and even maybe more so about just releasing more clone troopers that have a Tamora Morrison head sculpt and likeness. And until those figures stop selling, Hot Toys is going to keep putting those out. But that is insider information. And the Hot Toys Wizard also has looked into that and looked deep into his crystal ball and has proclaimed that those figures are indeed forthcoming. And let's go ahead and go to the biggest mover section. You know, the market alert, I told you guys about that on the last live episode, the live and raw episode. That's actually, I update this whole website multiple times per week, actually. The biggest mover section, the market alert, and also the market value chart. But sometimes I could update this daily. And so if there's something going on really, really quick, you may want to check out the market alert with this little red flashing dot, which gives you things that are happening. So you see that there's a lot going on there. And let's actually go to the biggest movers section. And you can see there I got a link to the 6 scale scavengers on here. We traded banners. We're kind of helping each other out within the community that way. I think it's really good. They've got a great website, the 6scalescavengers.com, and they have a tremendous databases for everything Hot Toys, all the original MSRPs, and they've got just a phenomenal. I really love their broadcast, and way before I ever put my channel out, so I'm really looking forward to what they have in store. They're going to be coming back soon with kind of a new format and some different things. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, really happy to have their link here on 6scalecantina.com, and I have my link. They have the link to 6 Scale Cantina on theirs as well. So it's really, really great to see the community working together. That's what it's all about. But going up here to the recent biggest movers, and there's a lot on here that we need to, that I want to anyway, go ahead and speak to. So you can see what I have up on the top. Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back 40th, trending up again. Let's go ahead and look at some recent data, folks. So, pulling this up on the screen, you could see back from June 19th, $370 in this listing, not including the $23.11 in shipping, and a seller, really, really good feedback, really reputable seller, Hawk Wars Toys, $370. And that's just back from June 19th. And when you pull up everything, 40th Vader, you could see that the amounts that they're asking on eBay are all within $400 and $500 for this particular figure. And that actually shows you how this is starting to march close to the $400 tier range. Is it possible that this figure will hit the $400 tier range even before the end of the year? And I say yes, it absolutely will. And you know exactly where it's sitting on the market value chart. We're going to take a look at the third segment of this market market outlook edition of the market value chart show. But it is trending up again. We'll see exactly where it's at in a little bit. And then let's go ahead and look at what else is at the biggest movers section. So you could see that vintage color Boba Fett. I was caught teasing that on the last live episode. And this is starting to trend up. And, we've discussed this for some months, or at least 4.5 months I've been doing this anyway. And let's go ahead and pull up a vintage Fett. And you can see back from July 10th, $400, a listing sold again. Another very reputable seller, 100% feedback, a lot of feedback. Wow. And when you pull up everything 40th vintage Fett, you could see the prices. The prices dictate really where it's at. These prices are higher than where it's at. But you're seeing in the 500s and the high 400s for this vintage color Boba Fett. And is it possible that this figure is going to continue, that you're eventually going to see these listings in the mid 500s and then in the 600s and eventually the 700s and 800s? And you have to wonder. And I've mentioned this before, that this figure could possibly go neck and neck with the animated Boba Fett. And I actually think this will be more coveted than the animated Boba Fett, quite frankly, in 2 or 3 years. So is it possible that this figure is going to be a $600 tier range figure? We're going to have to keep an eye on it. But this figure is on the move. Let's go back to the biggest mover section. And here's Rey the Last Jedi. And Rey the Last Jedi was trending up, then trending down slightly, and now it's trending back up again. And, just bringing up something recent from Rey. You can look right here. Back from June 9th, $380 with 10 bids, not including the $13.80 in shipping, not including the taxes. Puts this well over $400. And again, another seller with great feedback and 100% positive. Let's see what else is going on in the biggest mover section. And, you've got that Luke Endor Deluxe that continues to rise. It is hot. It is hot, that figure right now. As a matter of fact, the Luke Endor Non-Deluxe and also Luke Jedi Master. All 3 of those figures are on the move within the secondary market. We'll take a look when we get to the market value chart, exactly where they are. R2-D2, original trilogy. I mentioned that in the live episode the last time. That figure is on the move. And, it's getting close to cracking the $400 tier range. Did it do that here this week? We'll find out in just a little bit when we get to the market value chart. OG Mandalorian. OG Mandalorian continues to trend down. Let's take a look at a lot of stuff with the OG Mandalorian, folks. So, here's where the OG Mandalorian is. And let's bring up this auction right here. So actually, this had some damage. This had some damage not only to the box, which sometimes makes a difference and sometimes not, but it was missing a piece like the plastic clamshell. It kind of means a lot when you can pick up this figure, virtually with everything there. And again, this is a reputable seller. Just put him back up before, and it still went for $270 with 7 bids, not including the $23 in shipping. So that goes to show you that it's trending down, but not so far down. So where is this figure right now? It's somewhere within the low 300s. It's there. Let's bring up some other data with OG Mando. I'm going to bring up a lot with this because, this is one that I get a lot of questions with. And right now, this is, $300 back from June 11th. Good feedback. 1 bid. Let's go to another one. OG Mandalorian. June 5th, $309.22 US, not including the $36.14 in US shipping. So more like, $320 to be quite frank. And 19 bids, not including the taxes. Brand new. And really, when you go to everything, OG Mando in current listings, it's very much low 300s right now. And when you pull up like here's an example listing, $325, but there's 16 watchers. So people are thinking about that. Let's make an offer. Can we get it for 310? Can we get it for 300? Can we get it for 315? And again, another good seller over here. So with the OG Mandalorian, this figure is very much right now a low $300 tier range figure, but it is a $300 tier range figure. And I've said this before, you have to wonder, is this figure going to go back into the $400 tier range? We're going to have to keep an eye on it, but I really, really feel that it is. And I think at the end of the day, this figure will be a $400 tier range figure. It'll be somewhere within the low 400s to the mid 400s as it goes on over the next few years. So, back here at the biggest mover section. And let's move down from the OG Mandalorian. New on the list, the Jet Trooper. Okay, so let's pull up. We got the Jet Trooper, we got the Sith Trooper. So I'm going to pull them both up. You see them here, both trending down like the OG Mandalorian. Let's actually pull up a Jet Trooper. Back from June 9th, $152.51 with 10 bids, not including the $15.50 in shipping, not including taxes. Wow. And this is in stock in some stores right now. And it is actually trending down from the in-stock price. There just isn't demand in this current day and age for many of the troopers from the sequel trilogy. There are for other sequel trilogy figures, but not for these troopers. And even the one that is maintaining is, and I've got a lot of data from months and months, that this is not holding as good as some people may think. But you could take a look at recent things with the Sith Trooper. $202 back from the end of May, 51 cents, 3 bids, $20.60 in shipping, not including that, not including the taxes. Let's go to another Sith Trooper. Oh, that's the same one. Let's go to this one. Here we go. Back from May 20th, $255.01, not including the $30. So that one went for a little more. But like I said, when you have an average, it doesn't always sell in that average. It's going to be above and below. The question is it selling more below or more above? And if it's selling more below, it's going to be trending down. Here's another one. Sith Trooper, back from May 15th, $226, 7 bids, not including the 25 in shipping. Let's go to another Sith Trooper. Back from June 16th, $222.50, not including the $22 in shipping. So, with the Sith Trooper, going back to the biggest mover section, these figures right now, the Sith Trooper is averaging somewhere. We're going to take a look, 220, 230. Once we get to the market value chart, we'll see exactly where it is. But it's the only one that actually goes for pretty good. In the low $200 tier range is where you're going to see it now. And the Jet Troopers, I mean, it's going to be real interesting what happens with what's remaining in stock in a lot of these stores. Is it possible that these start trending up? We'll have to, keep an eye on it. But right now, from the secondary market data, I just don't see anything in the near future that's going to have that happen. Let's continue to march down the biggest movers section. So, okay, you got Obi-Wan, Revenge of the Sith. I talked about that in the last episode. Whether it's the deluxe or non-deluxe, this figure is crazy. crazy, crazy right now within the secondary market. And Jyn Erso Deluxe, she was trending up and then trending down and back up again. And, I said, is it possible that she was going to start trending up? And, you could take a look at even, some recent auctions here. We're going to look at her and we're going to look at Cody too, because Cody was right next to her. And you can see just back from June 7th, 59 bids, $570, not including the $20 in shipping. U.S. seller and a really, really, really good seller as well. A lot of feedback, all positive. With the shipper box and everything. Wow. I mean, is it possible that Jyn gets back up the deluxe version anyway into the $600 tier range? We're going to have to keep an eye on it. Goes up and down. There are ebbs and flows, but the more data that I'm seeing, it's looking like it's as the ebbs and flows go. This figure is on an ebb and flow where it continues to rise, though. The tide continues to rise with it. Cody continues to move, and it's still in that very, very low $400 tier range. That means you can get it sometimes in the mid 300s, and that's sometimes it's selling within the mid 400s or even higher. And, depending on the seller and the feedback and exactly what's included in the auction, that all determines where it is. But you could look back from, June 13th and, $380 with free shipping, 28 bids. So again, not always selling in the 400s. Very interesting, though. Some of these auctions, a lot of pictures, but sometimes, collectors do want to see the actual figure. When you buy this direct from some, I think like if you got this from Sideshow, for instance, you'd be able to, if there was something wrong with the figure, you'd be able to, bring it back. They're very good that way, Sideshow. And so sometimes, these can be damaged inside. You don't know. So that can hinder a little bit. But, if you look and you maybe ask questions before you buy or you bid to make sure that, how the figure was handled. But, yeah, you can get some deals on him. But, you can pull up another Cody here. It's selling continually. You could look back up on here. And this was just packed from this past week. Hawk Wars Toys again. $425. Best offer accepted. So probably about $415 for this figure. So I think it's somewhere around 401, 402, 403. We'll take a look, but that's pretty much where he's at. Again, sometimes selling in the mid 400s, sometimes in the mid 300s, but kind of on that thing. And what I'm seeing is it's more on that ebb and flow, steady, but a little bit up. Is it going to continue on that trend? Yeah, I think as more as the Bad Batch, continues to come out, and and as Rex looms closer, this is going to come up even more, I think. Let's go back to the biggest mover section. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, A New Hope, many of the original trilogy figures, not all of them, many of them are really trending up high. Luke, A New Hope, although that's Leia there, I got to fix that picture. Count Dooku, trending up. Grand Moff Tarkin is hot and showing signs of maybe even going higher than where he is. He's ready. I think he's a $600 tier range figure, or if not, he's very close. We'll find out in just a little bit. But, here's an ongoing listing of Tarkin. And you can see right here, very good seller, 100%, $629. Wow. And right here it actually says you've received an offer for $610. Offer expires. So, right there, $600, what this is going for. Let's go to Tarkin ongoing. 8 hours left. 8.5 hours left. Ends tonight. $530 with 17 bids. This figure is insane. Good seller. Lot of feedback. 36 watchers. $20. It's going to be very interesting to see where this lands, but continues to be very, very hot. Let's go back to the biggest mover section. So you can see a lot of twists and turns in here. Ray and BB-8, just like the Ray, now it's back trending up. I'll bring up a recent, Ray and BB-8. Back from June 18th, $315, 12 bids, a lot of bids. $13.06 in shipping, not including that, not including the taxes. So this figure always was a little bit up and down, but right now, as I told you in the last episode, and I didn't get a chance to put the picture of BB-8 by himself, up in the biggest mover section yet. Got everything else up there but him. But he's starting to trend up. So it's no wonder to me that this set is actually trending up, even though BB-8 by himself actually comes with some different accessories. But yeah, not surprised here at all with Rey, and it's going to be real interesting to see what happens with these Rey figures, and especially the Rey from the Rise of Skywalker, which we're starting to get notices that's going to be shipping from Sideshow. Once that hits waitlist, where that's going to be in the secondary market will be very, very interesting indeed. Han A New Hope continues to be crazy. Shore Trooper was trending down. Look at Vader A New Hope. And I've been looking at this for a while. So there was a lot of conversation that, this is a figure that's not, doesn't have a lot of interest. Well, I've been seeing a lot of data that there's actually a lot of interest in this Vader A New Hope, actually. And even when you pull this up, you could look at this, recent auction sold back from June 18th, 23 bids, $285, not including the $19.58 in shipping, not including taxes. So this figure is on the move, for sure. Wow. Vader is on the move in general. Is it possible we're finally going to get another original trilogy Darth Vader and a Return of the Jedi Darth Vader? I brought that up on many of my past shows. I do think that is a figure, a legacy figure, that could be thrown up on us. I would not be surprised if that happens sometime this year. It'll be very interesting if it does. Certainly a figure I would be very interested in. Leia and Wicket, I brought that up in the last couple of shows. They are on the move, and they are slowly simmering, starting to rise. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that set. We already talked about the Luke. Chewbacca, New Hope, finally, after, months starting to trend up. No surprise there. We already talked about Jeddah. TK14057 trending up. Death Star Gunner trending down a little bit. But still very, very high. I actually expect that to, go up and down, actually. Here's one that's very interesting, folks. Boba Fett Return of the Jedi Deluxe. It has been showing signs for a while of trending down. And let's bring up something, recent from this particular figure. And you can look back from June 18th, and pretty good feedback, 100%. And, with the original shipper, and wow, $359.89, not including the $13.06 in shipping, not including taxes. So, breaking this up, because if you're looking for a Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, and I've been seeing it for months, whether it's a deluxe or non-deluxe, this may be the time to pull the trigger on this figure if it's within your budget, within the secondary market. Because I'm seeing both of these figures in the $300 tier range for months. I do not think that they're going to stay here. Is it possible that they're eventually going to go back into the $400 tier range, and like this one right here could be a $500 tier range figure? And I say yes, I really, really do. But right now, you can pick these up. And I talked also about, you look right next to him was another original trilogy figure. Right now you're seeing Yoda, the Empire Strikes Back Yoda. It's trending down right now. It's not moving right now. And you can look back here from June 13th with 24 bids. $265, not including the near $20 in shipping, not including taxes. 100% feedback. And you can look at another one here. I'll bring up another Empire Strikes Back Yoda. $255. Now this had $50 in shipping, but still, so really more like, $270 for this figure. I've been looking for an Empire Strikes Back Yoda for a long, long time. I'm actually thinking that I may actually look a little bit more diligently now within the secondary market. This may be something that I can pick up now, because right now it's within a range, and as the Attack of the Clones Yoda really rises, and it's rising, really high within the secondary market. This figure, this look for Yoda is very near and dear to me, being an original trilogy fan. That whole puppet look, and I think that I don't think they're going to reissue this anytime soon, to be quite honest with you. Um, and I actually think that this figure is going to trend back up again and trend up high at the end of the day. Especially with all the forthcoming content on Disney Plus with Star Wars, and ways that they can, shadow back to some, footage. I may look for this now. If you're looking for an Empire Strikes Back Yoda, or a Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, now may be the time, because I don't think they're going to stay that low for long, for sure. So let's go ahead and actually go away from the biggest mover section and go to the last segment of this Market Outlook edition of the Market Value Chart Show, this weekly podcast. And let's go to the Market Value Chart. And remember, whenever you go to the Market Value Chart, hit that current value column arrow a couple times, so you get the highest ranked figures to the lowest ranked figures, so it's easier to navigate. So, Han and Chewie, let's go over some of these real quickly. It continues to be a steady set at $900. And that means sometimes it sells within the low $1,000 range, and sometimes within the $800 tier range, or very high $700 tier range. And it's continuing to stay right there. It's very, very interesting with this particular figure. I could even bring up some recent stuff from Han and Chewie. And if you do have patience, you can get this for under $900. Not much, though. But, let's bring this up. I mean, there's plenty of listings where you can get it for $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, which is too high. But, you can see here back from May 12th that this one, basically sold for $787 US, $40 in US shipping, 38 bids. Let's go ahead and go to another one. And you can see here, just back from June 7th, 51 bids. A little bit later here, $880, just US seller, not $21.48 in shipping. So it's maintaining right there at $900. If you exercise a lot of patience, you could find it $800. Very hard to find it in the 700s without Han's boots being messed up, and some other things with that, to be quite frank. But this is a figure that's maintaining $900, and you see Han and Chewie both going up. Is it possible that this figure can go above $900? This 2-pack? We'll have to keep an eye on it. But I actually think it is possible, but we'll have to see. But let's go back to the market value chart real quickly here. And my internet is working very fast today, which is great for this recording. And hit that current value column a couple of times. Okay. Tarkin and Vader continues to be steady at $840. Dark Side Anakin continues to be hot. $805 and rising. Let's continue to go down. Luke Bespin exclusive with the helmet has hit the $700 tier range. $705 and rising. Is this a sign that some people are just getting tired of waiting for the eventual forthcoming Bespin Luke? Now, I've spoke about this in a couple of other live shows, that even when they come out with that Bespin Luke, and I really believe they're going to come out with that this year, I don't think it's going to affect these DX07s as much as we may think, because it's going to be a different head sculpt, and I don't think it's going to come with the same stuff. And I think that there's some nostalgia with that DX07 from Hot Toys. And I think these will go down somewhat. but may not go down as much as we think. We're going to have to keep an eye on it. Let's take a look at some of these here. Boba Fett animated, Emperor Deluxe, K2SO, Anakin Revenge of the Sith, all over $600 tier range figures. Death Troopers are hot, $580 and marching up towards that $600 tier range. Short Trooper, we talked about that a couple episodes ago, trending down, but that doesn't really mean anything. Still $579 average. Grand Moff Tarkin, so not at the $600 tier range, but $566 and trending up. We're going to certainly have to keep an eye on that. Obi-Wan Deluxe, non-deluxe, really just surging up, $558, crazy. There's Jyn Erso Deluxe, trending back up again, $547. Right above the Luke, Return of the Jedi Deluxe, $544. And trending up. Wow. Let's go through some of these here and some of the ones we talked about. Got a lot of $500 tier range figures, Obi-Wan, A New Hope. The Stormtrooper Jedha Patrol TK14057, Leia A New Hope, Chirrut Deluxe at $505, Darth Maul with Speeder DX17 steady right at $500, Han Solo A New Hope marching up, $500 and rising. Wow. Death Star Gunner trending down, but $494. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's continue to look at some of these here. Luke, Return of the Jedi. MMS 429, the Jedi Master version, 454 and climbing up again now. Director Krennic, hot, right within that almost the mid $400 tier range, along with Chirrut Regular, the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian right now. Pretty much stuck in that $400 tier range right there. Continue to move down this list. So there's Leia and Wicket on the move. $421 and rising. R2-D2 A New Hope hit the $400 tier range. $419 and rising. Wow. And here's your Boba Fett, Empire Strikes Back Deluxe. $410 and trending down. So we're going to see what happens eventually with the 40th anniversary one that's up on stock. Again, like the Darth Vader ones. It's going to pretty much go the same way. Commander Cody, $402. Right stuck there. I showed you some data on that. And showing signs of trending up. And here's your Boba Fett Return of the Jedi Deluxe. MMS 313. Still a $400 tier range figure. But trending down right now. $401 and trending down. And no matter how far this trends down in the $300 tier range, which won't be very far down, this will eventually climb back up the $400 tier range, and I believe will eventually, the deluxe version anyway, be a $500 tier range figure again, for sure. Here's your vintage color Boba, $388 and climbing. Maul DX16, $386 and climbing. Wow. There's your Darth Vader, 40th anniversary, Empire Strikes Back, $363 and climbing up. Right above it, the Rogue One Darth Vader was trending down, $364. It's showing signs that it's going to trend up again, so expect to see some info on that soon. Yoda Attack of the Clones, $355 and rising up. Right below it, Rey Last Jedi, $355 and rising up again. Remnant Trooper Strong at $351. Wow. Shock Trooper. Rising up a little bit, was pretty much right there. I think it grows up a few bucks. Video game version figure, a VGM 20. $343 with the Shock Trooper. And I think I might have something with the Shock Trooper here. Let me pull something up on the screen. So you can see right here, recent auction with that, back from June 18th, $346 and change, 35 bids. $12, not including the $12.71 in shipping. So highly sought after. Very, very highly sought after this figure is. And rising up a little bit, for sure. Let's go back to the market value chart and see what's remaining there that we can speak to. And, going to see what's beneath the Shock Trooper. And continuing to, go down there. So And the Royal Guard trending down a little bit, $334. Mud Trooper still trending down, $330. Death Trooper Mando on the move, $328 and rising. Here's your Mandalorian OG, TMS 007, $315 and trending down. I think he's going to stay within that low $300 tier range, and then you're going to start soon as the year goes on, seeing that rise up. Rey and BB-8, $314, rising again. Qui-Gon, $313 and rising. Luke Crate, $306. There's your Yoda. Your Yoda Empire Strikes Back has fallen out of the $300 tier range. It is now $286 and trending down. Again, this may be the time, if you're looking for a Yoda Empire Strikes Back, to pick him up. But I don't think that that's going to stay that way. And here's Darth Vader A New Hope, $276 and rising. Wow. Wow, real interesting with that. And take a look here. Here's R2-D2. Remember I was saying that I was, getting no reads of really seeing this, trending up, this R2-D2, the Force Awakens one. But it's starting to now. And I think that that's more of a lag of people like, look, we want that R2 from The Mandalorian. So I'm not surprised here. $270 and rising up. Very, very interesting. Let's go down to the last couple here. So there's your Sith Trooper now. $231 and trending down. And then you see right above it the Jawa and Gonk Droid, $231 and trending down, and that one's in stock. And as we scroll down over here, you can see the Jet Trooper. The Jet Trooper right now, the non-Sith one, the regular white colored one, $191 and trending down. Wow. And then here's your BB-8, actually trending up. Last one I'll go over here. MMS 440 by itself, $143 and rising. Absolutely crazy. So, with that will bring to a conclusion this episode of the Market Value Chart Show. Please go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed the content. And please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I so very much appreciate your support. Remember, there is a free giveaway going on with this video. And all you gotta do to enter this giveaway is just comment on the video itself, like many of you already do. You don't have to comment multiple times. It's not going to count towards the tally. I'm going to do this on a computer program that's just going to pick up. You can put in 50 comments, and it's only going to count one. So you just got to comment one time, unless you want to, put multiple comments in. And that's all you got to do. Now, I will say, if you're not subscribed, you're not eligible for the giveaway. So if you're interested for a $25 gift certificate to Sideshow Collectibles, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and then just comment on the video. And then when are we going to find out who wins? During my next live show, Live and Raw. Aries Turrington is Live and Raw this coming Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I will run it at the end of Live and Raw. So go ahead and comment on the video, subscribe, and good luck to you for a $25 gift certificate to Sideshow Collectibles. Also remember, I'll be live this Friday on the Man of Hot Collectibles live show. It's his turn this Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Really, really looking forward to that as well. And if you like what you've heard here, and you would like some expanded thoughts on, the mind of Aries and kind of how, some of the things like we talked about today, the topic at the onset of the program, or so many of the other topics that I bring up, and you want some expanded thoughts, or maybe you would be interested in some, behind the scenes, what goes into not only the market value chart and scalecantina.com, but like what research goes into, some of the thoughts that I have and putting that together. You may want to consider becoming a Cantina Insider. All you have to do is check out that little join button that's on my channel. Click it, see if you like what it comes with, and if you do, you may want to consider it. All right. Well, that's enough of that. Remember that my Facebook group is absolutely, taking off, the 6 Scale Cantina Facebook group. We talk a lot about the stuff that's going on here that happens on the videos and Hot Toys itself. Got the link in the video description below. I also got the link to the Instagram in the video description below. I also got the link to Discord, a Discord Hot Toys group that's really phenomenal. Check them out. I participate in that as well for sure. Remember, many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. See you on Friday on Dante's live show, and see you on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Take care.